Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be going through my on-the-go travel makeup bag. Thanks for joining me. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a voiceover because as I was filming this, my littlest one was taking a nap. So that being said, let's get started. I'm going to start using the Catrice Dewy Fixing Spray. I use it as a priming spray, and I truly feel like this has made a big difference in my makeup since I've been doing this for probably a few months now. So I just kind of let that dry, and as that's drying, I go ahead and start on my eye makeup. I'm going to be using the ColourPop No Filter concealer. I believe my shade is in Fair 02. And since this is my on-the-go makeup, I try to make different products have multiple purposes. There we go. So again, I'm using this concealer as my eye primer. And then I just go ahead and take my Maybelline SuperStay full coverage powder and use that to set the concealer on my eyes. And the sponge I'm using is my Wet n Wild sponge, and that's the same sponge I use when I'm on the go. Normally my on the go makeup happens in the car. So next we're moving into the Rimmel Radiance Brick, and I'm going to be using this as kind of my transition shade just to put something in the crease. Like I said just a minute ago with the concealer, I try to use products multiple ways to make it as quick and easy as possible. My little man snuck in here while I was filming, so I was trying to kind of get him situated and happy. So you'll see his little head popping up and down as we continue on with this video. Now, currently for bronzer, I am using the Rimmel Radiance Brick, which you'll see here in a little bit. The Rimmel Radiance Brick is a shimmery, kind of glowy bronzer. So whenever I want something more matte, even for my eyes, a more matte transition color, I'll switch to the Maybelline City Bronzer. So now we're using the Maybelline Color Tattoo. This is one of their new colors called Socialite, and I like this because I can just put it on with my finger and I just tap it on all over the lid. It's a really pretty color. It's subtle, but I feel like it gives enough of just something to make your eyes look like, you know, you're awake and you look put together. So I think it was Jessica Braun who I seen using this who turned me on to it. I think it was her or Emily Noel. I can't remember. It was one of those two, but they have been using it, and when I went to CVS, I seen it and I had a coupon, so I picked it up and I've been loving it ever since. So next I'm going into my mascara using the Covergirl Clump Crusher Mascara. Now this mascara, I don't really feel like I get a whole lot of clumps per se, and I know that that's the claims on this mascara. Obviously it's called Clump Crusher, but even though I don't really get that, I do love the effect that it gives my lashes. I really like to use this mascara without any liner, and I feel like that makes my eyelashes look even longer when I just use the mascara. Okay, so going back into the face, I'm using the e.l.f. Luminous Matte Makeup Primer. I also have been using this for a while, and I really do enjoy it. It gives a really nice, I don't know, feeling to the skin. There's something about it I have really been liking. I've been using it for a couple months now and been enjoying it. I mean, so much that I put it in my on-the-go makeup bag. So if it makes it into this bag, then you know that it has been a standout product for me. So while that's setting down, I'm going to go ahead and get my e.l.f. Instant Brow Pencil in the shade Blonde and just kind of fill in my eyebrows sparsely. I don't take too much time to do this. I just want something to kind of define my eyebrows, because where I do wear glasses, I want a little bit of something, and I feel like this e.l.f. pencil, for the price and for just how well it performs, is probably my favorite eyebrow pencil right now. if I have time, I will go into my Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara, again in blonde. I don't always do this, and then sometimes I'll kind of flip-flop. One time I'll do the mascara. One time I'll just do the eyebrow pencil. Sometimes I do both. It honestly just depends on how much time I have between where I'm at and where I'm going to do my makeup in the car. And I do have just a spare spoolie to kind of disperse that product a little bit better. So now I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro Conceal concealer. Sometimes I switch between that and the Colourpop, but today I'm going with the LA Girl. My LA Girl concealer is in the shade Fairest. And the way I do my makeup kind of goes back to how I did it in my reverse foundation technique video. So if you haven't seen that, I will link it in the description box below. It kind of describes this process a little bit better. So I just take my clean ring finger. That one wasn't too super clean, but it'll do the job. So I just take my ring finger and begin the process of blending out my concealer. Since I've been doing that, I feel like my concealer has, as a whole, just been looking better and applying better than when I go straight in with a sponge or any type of brush. So now I'm just going to go ahead and finish blending that out. I do bring it somewhat down my cheeks to try to cover up some of that redness that I have. Then, just like I did with my eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with my sponge, take some of my Maybelline powder, and go ahead and set my foundation. Or, not foundation, concealer. So back to that Rimmel Radiance brick, I'm now going to bronze. Again, this process is better described in my reverse foundations technique video. So I'm just going to use my Essence bronzer brush and bronze up the skin. And I do kind of just go haphazardly. I'm not looking for perfection here because, again, I'm probably doing my makeup in the car with these products. So I just kind of throw it on, and I do go across my nose, the bridge of my nose, and just up and around basically. I think that's one of the reasons I really like this particular bronzer, is because I don't have to be super careful now. Like if I was using my Fenty Sunstalker one, or I'm sorry, Shady Biz, or my Hoola, I have to be more precise. So now for blush, I have been loving this blush by Colourpop. It is in the shade, I think, Under Pressure. Let me look here, if that's the right shade name. Yes, the Blush Sticks in Under Pressure. I have been loving this blush. I think it's one that I'm definitely going to end up carrying over into fall. It's a really beautiful color, and I take my sponge and dab that off the back of my hand, and honestly that can cover both of my cheeks because, like I said, I do already have redness in my cheeks, so I don't need to add a whole lot of color. But to kind of make it look more even, I basically just tap that out. Quick and simple. Quick and simple is the name of the game. So for highlighter, we're going to be using the ColourPop Lite Stix, and this one is in the shade Bullz Eye. It is a little bit too golden for me, but I feel like when I do this technique of putting it onto my hand and then tapping it on with my sponge, it kind of, I don't know, lessens that golden color to where it looks good for me. Or at least I think so. And I go ahead and put some of that onto the bridge of my nose as well as under my eyebrows. So now I'm going to take my, wow, we should probably count how many times I said so in this video. I'm going to take my Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Foundation. It's in the shade 110 Porcelain. I honestly could probably go down to the Fair Porcelain, but I don't want to be that pale, so we're just going to pretend. And then I've been taking my Clinique moisturizer, and when I want to kind of make a tinted moisturizer for an even quicker application, I will mix these two. Sometimes I go in just with the foundation, sometimes I'll mix them, which is what I did today. And I'm just going to hit the areas where I feel like I need a little more coverage, which is usually along my jawline, in the center of my forehead, down my nose, and around my mouth. And I just blend that out and take the excess or whatever is left and make sure that I blend it down my neck. So I went ahead and actually put a little bit over. I brought my highlighter a little too far down to my cheeks, so I did use some of that foundation to kind of correct that mistake. Here I have my Wet n Wild powder brush, and I'm just going to set those areas that I put the foundation on. Now, if I have a little bit extra time, I'll take some of my bronzer, run it along my lower lash line, and then go ahead and also do my mascara along my lower lash line. This doesn't always happen. It's not a necessity. It's basically a step I'll do, like I said, if I have the time needed to complete doing this. For lips, I'm using my Maybelline SuperStay Ink Crayon, and this is in the shade Lead the Way 15. I really like this, not only because of the color, but also the staying power. I feel like I can apply it and eat and drink, and it'll still look nice even after all of that. So it's not something I have to constantly reapply or keep in my purse. Sometimes I will throw a gloss over it, just depending what bag I have with me, if it's the diaper bag or my purse, just to give it a little something extra. And this, to finish this off, we're going back to my Catrice spray for the setting portion of that. So here's the final look. Nothing super exciting, nothing grand or over the top, but it's definitely a look that I can do in a hurry, and I feel like it looks nice. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.